You may have heard this interview question before. What would success look like in the first 6 months in this role? But asking this question is not what makes it powerful. There's a twist to how you ask it and what you do with the answers that can make all the difference. I'm going to tell you why it works and how to adapt it to every interview phase that you might be in. I'm Danielle Bradley. I'm a career coach for mid-career professionals, and let me break this down. One of the reasons that this type of question works is that it shows that you're thinking like an employee, not like a job applicant. Many candidates will ask simple questions about the company, the culture, the role. Those questions are okay, but this next one really does something different. It will help to shift the conversation towards the business problems that they're looking to solve with the role. When you ask about what success would look like in the first 6 months, you're already telling the hiring manager that you're thinking about what you might be able to do for them. But here's how you can make this question way more specific. What are the most important outcomes you'd want the person in this role to deliver in the first 6 months? Now that gets them thinking about specific business outcomes and priorities, not a general idea of success. And hiring managers can feel that shift. They're used to candidates asking about perks and flexibility. When you ask this type of question, it signals a much different level, and it signals that you are serious about delivering for them. And at the manager, director, and VP level, this matters even more. Companies want to hire leaders who are thinking about results from day one. The second reason why this works is employers will tell you what they care about. When a hiring manager answers this question, they're sharing about their priorities. They're telling you potentially what's keeping them up at night, what the team needs the most, and what they'll be measuring you on. This information is gold. Without this question, you're guessing about what's most important. Sometimes the hiring manager's answer will surprise you. It may not be something that you would have seen in the job description. It may be different in terms of the priorities that are important to them. Maybe the posting emphasized operational efficiency, and now they're telling you what's most important to them is employee retention. Now you have a much better idea of how to frame up your interview stories, which stories to choose from, and that gives you an edge over other candidates. The third reason this question helps a lot is it may expose some red flags early on. So the reality is that this question can help to protect you as well. If a hiring manager can't tell you clearly what does success look like, it tells you something. It could mean that the role is not well defined, or maybe someone was in the role for not very long before it opened up again. Or it could also be that expectations may be unrealistic. If they say, honestly, I just need someone to come in and figure it out, don't take that necessarily as a red flag, especially at the senior level. That could very well be the case, and you just need to dig a little deeper. Try and find out if the mandate of the role is to come in and define the priorities, or if there's just no alignment about what the role is supposed to do. And if they list 15 different priorities for the first 6 months, that is something to pay attention to as well. A role where everything is urgent and nothing is prioritized could be something that leads to burnout. You deserve to know what you're walking into, and this question really helps you get more information. For a recruiter screen, keep it broader, something like this. What can you tell me about the key priorities for this role and what the hiring team is looking for in the person they hire? At this stage of the game, you are gathering intel. Listen for some of the problems they may be trying to solve, why the role is open, and anything else that can help you prepare for the hiring manager conversation. Now, with a hiring manager interview, this is where I would ask the stronger version of this question, something like this. What are the most important outcomes you'd want the person in this role to deliver in the first 6 months? The hiring manager should be able to give you a much more specific answer to this question. And remember, don't just thank them and move on. Use the answers that they give you. If they mention a priority that's connected to something that you've achieved well in the past, you can leverage that as part of your interview stories and add to the conversation and help to position yourself. Now, for a panel interview, I wouldn't ask the same question for every member of the panel. Instead, you can use the question to understand each member's perspective. From each of your perspectives, what would be the most important for the person coming into this role to get right? You may hear different priorities from different stakeholders, and that's valuable information. It helps you understand what each person needs from the person in that role and if there's alignment within the different teams. Now, in the final round or the executive interview, this can help you to elevate the conversation. If we were 6 months down the road and you felt you'd made an excellent hire, what would this person have accomplished? Now, you're not just getting some information about the job, you're getting the senior leadership's perspective on what meaningful impact actually looks like. And if you've already learned some of the priorities in previous rounds, use them. Here's an example. In my conversation with Sarah, she mentioned that X is one of the biggest priorities for the first 6 months. From your perspective, what else would you want to see this person accomplish? Now, after you ask the question, don't just say thank you and move on. Use it. Here's an example. We need someone to stabilize the team and reduce turnover. This is what you can say. In my last role, I inherited a team with 40% turnover. Within a year, we brought that down to under 15% by restructuring, onboarding, and creating clearer career paths. I'd love to bring that same approach here. Now you're not just asking smart questions, you're positioning yourself as the answer. I coach a lot of clients on this, and they typically see something very similar. The hiring managers will start to lean in, and the interview becomes more of a conversation and a collaboration. It starts to feel like a conversation about working together. I've worked with several clients that before working together really struggled to land the offer after the final rounds of interviews. And for many of them, the questions they were asking were not helping them to position themselves as the one to hire. This is really worth paying attention to. So before your next interview, write down these types of questions for the different stages that I shared and practice them out loud so you're not looking at your notes to ask a question like that. And then make sure that you have prepared some of your strongest stories so that you have something to add to the conversation once they provide you with their answers. And then, of course, after every interview, make sure that you capture what has been shared, because that can give you valuable information that you can use in subsequent interviews. The candidates who really stand out, especially in mid-career, are not always the ones that have the best answers. They're the ones that ask questions that have hiring managers and hiring officials thinking they already get it. Subscribe for more career advice for mid-career professionals. And if you'd like some support with your interview prep or with your job search in general, I invite you to book a call with us. It's a Get Hired strategy call, and the link is in the description below. And watch this video next: how to tell if your interview went well. 5 real signals of what to watch for. It'll help you understand what's really going on in your interviews so you know where you stand before you leave the room. I'll see you in the next video.